Hi, this is Will. Today we're going to discuss Ferro Rods and magnesium fire starters. I've seen some people complain about they haven't been able to, make the magnesium fire starters work, and they've on YouTube they've said, these are worthless. And I bought some Chinese ones, and I bought one of the original Doan that they issued the military back in the day. And I'm going to do a quick little instruction on those and show you why some of the aftermarket Chinese ones aren't working so well, and kind of give you an idea why these are a really good fire starting tool. I'm also going to go over the Ferro Rods, the different compositions of them, and which ones I prefer, which ones work best for me, and kind of give you an idea of what I like. Apologize for the crazy dogs. I apologize for the quarantine hair and the Ray Charles glasses. It's pretty bright out here today, and I just felt like I wanted to get this, give you this, instruction. Basically, what I have here is three magnesium fire starters. The dog over there barking is quite obnoxious. Sorry about that. This is one that I got. It's called AOFAR. I saw it. It seems like a legit magnesium bar. However, when you start scraping, you notice that it's not 100% magnesium. The pieces that come off are kind of small and granular and kind of like sand. It does come with a ferro rod built into it, like all of them do. And so far it's not bad. We'll light it and see how it works. This is the Doan. This one is made in the USA. I recommend if you're going to get one, get the actual Doan. It's the best one to use. When it flakes off, you notice it has larger flakes that come off, and it's more of a, it's almost like a solder material kind of when it comes off. It's 100% magnesium. It's a lot better to use. Also has a ferro rod incorporated into it. You can't beat these for like 10 bucks. The cheaper Chinese ones for $5 aren't worth it, and I wouldn't worry so much about that. But basically, it's a pretty good little fire starter. I highly recommend you get the Doan, and we're going to go over this in a minute here. And I'm going to let you try to figure out which one is which when I start it. This is another one I bought from Amazon. You get 2 of these for $5. They come with a little striker deal here. It's got like a small hacksaw blade, so you can get off, and you're going to need it because this stuff is not really magnesium. It has a small amount of magnesium in it. The rest is like an aluminum alloy, and it's compressed into it, kind of like a fiber board type of deal. Really not a very good material and really hard to start. If you buy these, you're going to be disappointed. It does have the ferro rod built into it, and we're going to go over that and light them here in a second. One thing I do want to say is whenever you get these, make sure that you scrape down the ferro rod on these. You'll notice that all of them, including these actual ferro rods here, have a black coating on them. Where I've scraped them down where they're silver, that's what you want to do. You want to scrape them down so you'll get a spark. So like this one here, when you get to a point, you should be able to get a spark off of it when you do it. You want to make sure you get all that black off before you try to start the fire, because if you don't, it's not going to work. So you want to make sure, especially with this one because it has paint on it, if you don't do this a few times and get the sparks off, it's probably not going to light for you. Just a tip there on that. The other one here, the AOFAR, comes with this little scraper tool. Same thing. You want to make sure you get the black off, and it lets off sparks. The thing about these I want to recommend though is that you make sure you get all that black stuff off. Make sure that you get a small amount of, they want you to thumb nail size. I just did a small amount just to show you how it works. I put it on a piece of duct tape so it will actually hold it together, stick together, so it won't blow off in the wind here. These are factors that you're going to have to consider when you use these out in the wild. You're going to want to dig a little pocket into the soil, start your fire, and then put your wet wood over the top of it. These were really good in wet situations. Let me go ahead and get these started, and let's just see if you can figure out which one is the Doan and which one is the other, just by the way we start it. When you do this, you're going to want to try to start, put this down close to it, and then make a strike as close as you can. Now, when it fires up, you can see it'll start burning. It's relatively quick at getting going, and this will reach over 3,000 degrees Celsius, 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit real quick. And if you have wet wood, you can put it on top of it, and it burns really well. I'll go ahead and light this one also. Now this is the actual Doan. You can see how quick it burns, how much a brighter flame you get with it. It's really it's a little better magnesium. And even this other one here, the AOFAR, got out of Amazon. It has quite a bit of magnesium in it too. It's not bad, but you're going to have to search if not. I recommend you get the Doan, as you can see how much better it starts. Let's go ahead and try to start the Chinese one that didn't even have a name on it. Now, as you can see, it will burn, but see how the powders are like sand? If it wasn't for the duct tape underneath, I always use duct tape in my fire starting. Duct tape helps burn and accelerate. And as you can see, okay, sorry about that, the video cut off, and so we need to finish the last part of this about the magnesium fire starters. One of the things I wanted to show you is that when you have the magnesium fire starters, these other ones come with a little tool, like came with this one, came with the AOFAR or whatever you want to call it, this one here. And the other one came with this little blade, the other Chinese copy. Well, the actual Doan does not come with a starter, but you can use any knife. I don't care whether it's a pocket knife or whatever, and it does the same thing. So you can see it sparks it off. Just kind of missed that in the first part of the video, kind of threw me off when the video stopped. The next thing we're going to go over basically is if the dog in the background would stop barking, that would be great, but you know, neighbors. We're going to talk about ferro rods. Now, what I've got here is a bunch of different ferro rods, and this one here is from Pyro putty. It's not bad. I like it. It's a little small. It'll last, like they say, 3,000 strikes. It has the striker built into the cap here. This striker rod on the end is really small, so it's hard to really get a good strike on. As you can see, you've really got to work at it. And again, you've got to wear the black protective coating off of that. Once you wear this down, you can put Vaseline over it, dog fat, you know, like your neighbor's dog fat if you need to. No, just kidding. You know, Vaseline or wax on there works really well. Keeps it from corroding back up if you're worried about that. I do like these. They work pretty good. Yep, we got wind blowing up here. And you can, you know, this will work even with a small rod. And you have to support it. So if you try to do it up here, you won't be able to. So what you're going to have to do is support this to the side, and because it's so small, it does make it a little bit more difficult, as you can see, to get a rod on there. Of course, now that I got to get the end that I wore off so you guys could see. Now it's not wanting to work for me. Now this is a support demonstration, the Pyro putty one. There we go. All right, see, so now once you get it going, you just have to get the right angle because it is small and it does make it very difficult to do that. So keep that in mind when you do it. You'll have a hard time. Now these are just cotton balls with a little bit of Vaseline on them, and you can see they burn really well. But again, the Pyro putty one, it's their small version. I have two. The small one is compact. You stick in your pocket like a pen. However, I do not like the strikers, you can see on that one. The other one I like, and I've used for years since they came out with them, is Gerber. I do like the Gerber one. It's larger, and it's easier to get. As you can see, it's easier to get a spark. You get a nice spark with it. It's a real good magnesium fire starter. I mean, ferro rod. What these are is ferrocerium rods. They're made out of, before I burn my wife up here. Before I burn my wife up, we're going to just put this thing out. Okay. What these are made out of is usually 50% cerium. It's a metal alloy, and 20% iron. So the ferro meaning rod, iron in Latin, and cerium is the other part of. So you'll hear ferrocerium rod, but it's ferro rod is what most people refer to them. Everyone has a little bit different makeup or a little bit different composition, but the most part you want 45% cerium to about 20% iron in the composition, and you're not gonna have to worry about that. Most companies, if they're legit, they'll make a good one. This is Gerber. I really like Gerber. We'll show that one in a minute. Now, these are Light My Fire, you know, kind of like the song in Castaway when he's singing Light My Fire. These are made in Sweden, really good fire starters, a little bit pricey. They make two versions. This is the magnesium version. It has more magnesium built into it, into the rod, so when you strike it off, it has more magnesium in it. You can actually scrape some of the rod off in a situation where you don't have any, tinder or anything to use. You can actually use the metal scrapings from that Light My Fire, and that is their Echo version one, which is made of magnesium. This is their military grade version. This was designed by a guy named Haas Floss or something like that. I can't say his name. It's a Swedish name, and it's an alloy that burns a lot better higher altitude. They rate these things to over 13,000 feet. Go figure how the heck there's any oxygen at 13,000 feet, but they did it for their military, and as you can see, these work great too, and this one is exceptional. I really like the Light My Fire, the one that's their military grade, and I highly recommend it also. And as you can see, these are a lot easier to get a fire going with these if you get the spot. And you see I'm shaking all over because I can't get it down here, but if you get it on there There we go. And you get her going, they'll go real well. So, all right. So you seen how well that one works. I highly recommend it. I can guarantee this one works really well too. I mean, I've actually lit them from coming up here like this and not getting down on it. But really what you want to do is get right on it to the side and then do one steady stroke into it to get it going. Now this is not Gerber's fault. That's not lighting. It's my fault. But there you go. It's lighting. It'll start burning here in a second. But I guess I didn't get enough. This is operator error here, not the ferro rod, people. There we go. Again, Gerber's real good. Don't make my bad demonstration there. Show you. So anyway, these are the ones I recommend. This one here is really good. It has magnesium built into it, so it's a little bit better for a rod. Like I say, you can scrape some of the material off, just kind of like we did here with these, and start a little fire pit, you know, make a little pile of this stuff and make a nice little fire. I'm a little off today with the dogs barking and my dog's going crazy and everything else, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of some of the stuff that's out there that you can use for fire starting, some of the stuff I've used over the years. Like I said, I'd highly recommend the Doan magnesium fire starter. Stick one of these in your pack along with, you know, if you got a Bic lighter or whatever you use now, that's fine, but just have one of these because these are exceptional in wet weather. If you've got, everything's damp, everything's wet, this will get such a, if you get enough of this scraped off, the magnesium will start such a high, you know, I think they say it's like 4 or 5, it's actually 5,000 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. It's extremely hot, and it will actually dry out your wood or your twigs or whatever you have and get you a fire going. So I highly recommend you get one. I recommend you get the Doan because it's made in USA and it's a good one. Like I say, they already come with a ferro rod in it, so you can't beat it, you just throw it in your pocket. As far as the Chinese ones go, you know, you get what you pay for. You know, it's $5 a piece basically. The ends so far were not bad at all. Those are out of Amazon also. And they come with the little striker rod. Where is that? I must have dropped it down here somewhere. Anyway, they come with a little striker rod that comes with it and this cord on it. It's kind of nice and convenient. And it comes with a small striker rod. Apparently I've dropped it down there on the floor. I'll find it shortly. And they're not bad. You get 2 of those for like $12. Not a bad deal. And that's the AOFAR. And it does have quite a bit of magnesium in it. However, I'm going to recommend that you get the Doan, D-O-A-N, made in Ohio, American quality, good stuff, 100% magnesium, good stuff. In the ferro rods, I recommend, personally, I like the Gerber. They're $12, or if not that, I would say go with this Swedish Light My Fire, really good one, the military grade, or if you want compact and lightweight, you can go with this magnesium one. They all have whistles incorporated in them. I never use a whistle. But you know, if you need it in a survival situation, emergency situation, you've got it. Those are my suggestions, and I hope that helps you out, gives you some options you can do. And remember, if you want it, buy a Doan and get one of these, stick in your pack. They're like $10 worth the money. On fire starters, I highly recommend the Gerber, or I recommend the Light My Fire. And if you want one of these, they work. The Pyro putty. The Pyro putty works great itself. Their fire starter, their small one, it works, but it could use some upgrades. Well, that's my video. I hope it helped you, and thanks for watching.